All right, we've cut the retaining ring, free of the plastic. I like how everything works backwards with this camera when I look over at the so there it is. You may be able to see the ring. Oh boy, right. So there's a delay. So if I move it, so down there you can see the ring that I drew with the compass. So now all I have to do is round it off. This is going to get noisy. Now we take a nut and we put it on the threaded rod and force it up against that part so it doesn't spin. Now we tighten them against each other, and now we're going to start doing some fanciness on here. All right, I'm getting ready to go for my walk, but that's how you make yourself a threaded retaining unit. We could call it a threaded washer. We could call it a retainer. I'm thinking about my walk. I have to walk every day for my health, but it helps calm me down. But we take our threaded rod, our piece of nylon, and yes, we could have bought a nylon nut. You put your donuts on there, and you put a collar inside, or a spacer, a round tube, so these things will sit nice on the threaded plastic. And here's our retainer, and I'm going to go for my walk, and when I come back, I'll touch it up real nice. We'll make it nice and round. I still have two more. I won't make them. In other words, if I screw this part up, then I have two spares. Now, look, it's getting tight as it's going on. That's funny. I tapped it with an NCF type tap. So that's how it's going to look. And this will be turned down just a little bit more. And this, if it was a metal nut, it might affect the coil. No, not enough to make any difference. But you have to have ferrite material to go in and out of the coil. And like I told you on the past video, you want a material that doesn't expand and contract with temperature. It does, but not as much as other donuts, because this is a T50-6, and it's made for an oscillator winding of a coil, and that's temperature stable. And a lot of the articles, they mention you got to get some type of ferrite that doesn't move with temperature, like they sell that anymore. But I know that the T50-6, because I've done videos on it, that it's exactly the material you would want to use. And having experience, then I know if I use that material on the project, that most likely will lead to success. But we still don't know at this point, will that be enough ferrite material? going in and out of that coil? Will the coil give me enough of a range? We don't know any of that. See, this is one of those things where if you really want to learn something, you have to have some hands-on. And when you go to tech school, you spend the morning in theory, and then later on in the afternoon, you go over to the lab. And the guys that were good at theory, they get in the lab, and it was horrible to watch. And there were guys that were terrible in theory, but were good in the lab. I struggled with remembering some of the terms, the words, but I understood how the circuit was working. And I tell you, I have dyslexia and ADD and a bunch of, after watching Monk, I'm picking up some of his wackiness. And getting old, you get a little bit weird when you get older too. Like yesterday, I finally shaved. I had this giant Santa Claus beard. I had a Willie Nelson haircut. And it was just because I was so involved in all these different projects. And my fingernails are cut. I don't see my fingernails as being too long because I'm so intensely involved in every project there was. But this video was just to show you a retaining nut. We'll call it a retaining nut, a retaining ring. And you can use a brass nut. You can go get yourself a nylon nut. But I use what I have. And it usually turns out good because like when I just showed you about coming and tapping the hole with the tap in the drill press, with the drill press unplugged. That's something that when you build something and you run a threaded rod through, it won't go straight through. Like if you're building a CNC machine, it'll bind when you do straighten out. That's because your hole and your tapped, your original hole and your tap didn't go through the material at a right angle. So I'm trying to show you a lot of different things using PVC plastic, but I just wanted to show you when I show you this unit, if I show you it made, I'll say, yeah, those are 3 toroid coil blanks, and I can say that, but to actually see them come off and go on this part and see this part go in and out with a knob on it and the whole thing, we'll see how it works. I might have to actually order some threaded nylon. I don't know. You have to build something. You have to start somewhere. And I real quickly want to tell you, this is a machinist rule. This is what I use. It's slightly flexible. And I had so many people when I was selling CNC plans, they would contact me and I'd tell them it's a machinist rule. They'd argue with me. I'd send them up to Sears. They'd come back. The guy said no. I'd give them the part number. They'd go and they'd get it. Then they would come back. They'd take a picture of this rule and want me to explain to them what those divisions are. I don't know what kind of schools some of these people went to, but I'm starting to realize after I moved out here to Pennsylvania, they didn't have loan amortization. I went to a school that was tiny. It was in North Arlington, New Jersey, and we had a lot of Jewish kids, and their parents constantly come into the school and would talk to the teacher and say, "You're not challenging our child enough." So they would push our teachers to teach us things that most schools don't teach. We had loan amortization, and when you borrow money from the bank, when you pay it back, how much more. When I talk to the people out here, they never had any of that. They're clueless when it comes to finances. I think that's it. I got to hook these videos together now and upload it, and I'll be done. I can go for my walk. I think that's it. All right, that's it. Shut it off.